Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope that you are having a fantastic day out there. Thank you so much for clicking on the video, because today we are going to embark on a journey. We are going to listen full album reaction of 16 Lovers Lane. We are going to listen to the 6th studio album released by the Go-Betweens, released in 1988. We're listening to this because quite a few of you had suggested this particular album, such as Mark D. Carter, Button Phonics, Stephen Colligan, Jeremy B. mentioned this one, T.D. Stone, Pepe Q, and P. Crimson. Thank you guys so much for the recommendation. We had listened to the Go-Betweens previously with their song Bye Bye Pride, and so we're going to listen to this particular track here, or this particular album now, of course, in celebration of Valentine's, the month of love and stuff, you know, sprinkle those paper roses down here, because I'm not doing real ones. But anyways, yeah, I hope that you guys are having a lovely day. I hope you guys are having a good month so far, whether you're spinning it, cozied up by the fire by yourself, or whether you're with someone you love. Dog, wife, husband, partner, whoever. Hope you're doing well out there. Even though it's, 2 weeks removed from when this video is probably going to be released, this is during the time when Orlando here, we're having that big freeze that's happening. And it's 7:30 in the morning right now. And it says feels like 13 degrees outside. So I went outside because for us, like Floridians, like it's historic. And it feels different. It feels different than normal cold. I'll tell you that. But can I also say it's kind of refreshing. Listen, compared to the summer here, it's very, very different. So here's the plugs. The Buy Me a Coffee is there if you'd like to sponsor a song request in the future. Of course, we take requests, or I take requests primarily from the comments, but you can always jump the line, fast pass it, and do so over there. Patreon for exclusive content. And if you don't mind, before we even dive into the music, just press that like button. It helps and goes a long way. Now, without further ado, because ado we have, let's go ahead and dive on into the album, beginning with the first track here, Love Goes On. What a perfect setting for this particular theme. Of course, this first sip of the coffee of the day is to you. That's warm.
There's a cat in my alleyway, dreaming of birds that are blue. Sometimes go when I'm lonely, this is how I think about you. There are times that I want you so much I could bust. I know a thing about lovers lie down in trust. Love goes on anyway. Love goes on anyway. The people next door got their problems. They got things they can't name.
Love that bass line.
And I know a thing about lovers. Lovers don't feel any shame. Late at night when the lights down low, the candle burns to the end. I know a thing about darkness. Darkness ain't my friend. Love goes on anyway. Love goes on anyway.
I love the snare on the drums back there too.
I'm gonna make you happy.
Hey.
I'm gonna spin you around. I'm gonna cut your string.
That's good.
I put my foot flat down on the floor. I took it as far as I could. I took it down there to Sheridan Street by the dark hardwood. Late at night when I want you, I lock you in my room. 'Cause I know a thing about darkness. I know a thing about lovers. I know a thing about lovers. Lovers want the moon. Love goes on anyway. Love goes on anyway. goes on anyway. Love goes on anyway. Love goes on anyway. Love goes on anyway. Love goes on.
Violin sneaking into it. If this track sets the scene for what's to come, we are in for a wonderful time listening to this. Man, this, can I just tell you, like, it's 7:30 and this is a really nice wake up to listen to. Not too heavy, not too soft, just the right amount of jangly. just the right amount. There's a lot to like in this track, and it all comes together in this really wonderful package. The guitar playing is sensational. You have two guitarists, who's also the vocalist. That's going to be Robert Forster handling rhythm, and then Grant McLennan on lead guitar. Wonderful vocals. I love the way they swing about in the music with a certain energy, but also laying back in a certain way with not melancholy, but just like a laid back coolness, I would say, to an extent. Not as sleek, but I would kind of say in a similar kind of direction to like Patty McLoone from Prefab Sprout. Like I said, not as smooth, not exactly a one-to-one, but just like a little comparison. And the lead guitar, I like the guitar throughout the whole track. Like I said, definitely in that sparkly, kind of jangly kind of way. But then the break that happened 3/4 of the way through, with the kind of Spanish style guitar playing there, that was really impressive, very standoutish and very different than what I was expecting from the band. That was just really impressive. And I also like the drumming and the rhythm that's set up, because the way that instead of just playing a straight kind of meter and straight bar on the drums, you know, incorporating a lot of snare work there, a lot of ghost notes, a lot of fills, almost moving off of ghost notes into a marching kind of beat there, which was really interesting. Lindy Morrison on drums. And I thought that was a nice way of providing a rhythm that could have been something very standard, but changing it up a little bit, giving it a little something different there. And then Amanda Brown, who we hear here near the end especially, playing the violin, was a really nice addition. I got to say that this track just kind of had it all, in my opinion. It just kind of gets everything. Let's look at these lyrics. There's a cat in my alleyway dreaming of birds that are blue. Sometimes, girl, when I'm lonely, that's how I think about you. There are times that I want you so much I could bust. I know a thing about lovers. Lovers lie down in a trust. Love goes on anyway. Whether he has love or not, it still goes on. The people next door got their problems. They got things they can't name. And I know a thing about lovers. Lovers don't feel any shame. Late at night when the light's down low, the candle burns to the end. I know a thing about darkness. Darkness ain't my friend. I like this. I like how he, there's a certain kind of comparison that he draws between himself and others, whether it's, the cat in the alleyway or his neighbors and such, and others out there. But regardless, he doesn't want that candle to burn and end. He does want it to burn, but he doesn't want it to end. As he says, darkness ain't my friend. I'm going to make you happy. I'm going to spin you around. I'm going to cut your strings. When I say cut your strings, I thought that kind of stood out. And I was thinking, maybe I'm thinking too far and too into it. Because the two things are happy, right? Positive, make you happy, spin you around. Cut your strings. He wants to cut her ties. What is she tied down to that he wants to cut? Maybe someone else. I put my foot flat down on the floor, took it as far as I could. I took it down to Sheridan Street by the dark wood. Late at night when I want you, I lock you in my room. Because I know a thing about darkness. I know a thing about lovers. Lovers want the moon. See, this line, excuse me, this line and this line. There's something a little bit more, possessive, right? That's what I see, possessive about these lines here. The song was released in 1989. Let's see, it was the last single issued by the band before their split. And Tom Jurek, in his review, describes the song as setting the stage for kind of a refined yet primal emotional transference that pop music is rarely capable of revealing. Okay. Oh, Tony's Visconti is here? Psst, of course he is. Of course he is. That's a really fantastic opening track. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Quiet Heart. I love how he quiets it. That's
2 hours on, my eyes are open. There's bad blood between us. And what did I say that made you cry?
little smokiness
about this storm inside of me and how I miss your quiet.
I love that.
Heart.
theme there, huh? This is going to be a really good album. The moodiness of this track is just peak, just blissful and deeply melancholic. The way that he pulls back a little bit on his vocals as compared to the first track, it definitely has a little bit of that like on the mend heartbreak. It's healing, but there's just something so a little hurt about it. And I think that he gets that point across really nicely. The subtle pain in his singing, just wonderfully. The whole track. Okay, can I say something from the first few lines? I just want to make this point. The heater's on, which by the way, it is right now. I'm sorry if you hear it, but I gotta have it. And the windows are thin. I'm trying hard to keep this warmth in. Those lines, those 4 lines that start off the song, I think capture the whole atmosphere, the whole feeling of this particular track. Trying to hold on to something, trying to keep a little bit of the warmth, a little bit perhaps of the memories, a little bit of that feeling, like from leaking out and being forgotten, being lost, just sifting through your hands, trying to hold on to it. I think that is wonderful. Holding on to it from the coldness of the outside, the coldness and the emptiness, the darkness that he mentions in the first track that is not his friend. I think that just says so much in just a few lines there, which is absolutely wonderful. The violin playing from the beginning is really gorgeous and just really adds a certain kind of light into the music, almost like a Jacob's Ladder, like it just shines down a light down onto the music and kind of provides a little bit of that warmth I would feel, or I would say. I love how it begins just with the thump, and then of course it kind of moves on into its thing. The solo's wonderful. I think even in this track, I'm you know what I said previously about Patty from Prefab Sprout? Like, once again, take away those little jazziness and little sleekness in his voice, but I get a similar kind of feeling and, shade of color in the singing here, which is going to be performed by Grant McLennan. And it's wonderful. This is a really great follow-up track as well. Kind of cooling things down a little bit, adding a little bit of that heartful fog into the music. And then you're off. I turned to her. She's sound asleep. Someplace I don't know. Doesn't matter how far you've come. You always got further to go. So she's here right now, in the moment, in the present. And of course, physically she's there, but in her dreams, perhaps, she's someplace else. And there's something else I really love about this track. The chorus. God, guys. I tried to tell you, I can only say it when we're apart. Interesting. About this storm inside me. And how I miss your quiet. And the way that he holds and starts to go quieter. Quiet heart. So, like, he says that she has a quiet heart. He says there's a storm inside of him. He can only say things when they're apart. There's a lot of internal struggle happening and internal feelings that haven't been perhaps spoken about or materialized. 2 hours on, my eyes are open. There's bad blood between us. What did I say? That made you cry. Our dream won't die. Doesn't matter how far you come. You've always got further to go. And then even in the chorus, it didn't say it here, so I forgot about it, to be honest. But when he says, yeah, he says, I tried to tell you, and then backs it up with a yeah. Like he's trying to really emphasize, I really tried to tell you. Yeah, I did. I love the way he puts that in there. Did you try to tell her? Because it says you can only say it when you're apart. What is that light, that small red light? Scorpio rising. Doesn't matter how far you come, you've always got further to go. I know Scorpio is like a sign, but does this have a particular meaning? I'm going to take you off my screen real quick. I'll bring you back. It's a book, I guess, or an experimental short film. It's a short film by Kenneth Anger. Okay. Prominent soundtrack of 60s following a group of bikers on a night out. That's probably not what it's about. It's probably not. Let's go on medium.com. Hold on before I bring you up, because it sometimes that's why I take you off the screen. Sometimes it brings up other stuff that I don't need you guys seeing, personal things. Like this part of 10 astrological series, rising ascent of Scorpio is the one like spot a mile plus. The intensity, the charisma, the way Scorpio rising seem to stare into your soul. So what's like their personality according to that? That way we can get some perhaps ideas. I'm not reading this whole thing. If I knew what I knew, I would know that shadow work, therapy, and journal prompts writing is so important in maintaining a relationship with the Scorpio rising. They are used to people either adoring borderline person, obsessing, or hating, but also sometimes secretly loving them. So when you do the inner work to be completely honest and transparent with your own self, and okay. So that's what he's saying, like that personality is kind of a strong, like a deeply, deeply strong and intense feeling of, it could be in anything, love or hate. But regardless, it's intense. Even in its quietness, even in its quiet heart. Let's move on to the next track. Listen, this is a good album. So far, we got 2 for 2 tracks on here. I'm just saying. Let's see if it's 3 for 3.
I'm 10 feet underwater, standing in a sunken canoe, looking up at the water lilies, they're green and violet blue, and still the sun it finds a place to light me, and still the sun it finds that it's warm beside me, green and violet blue. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I want to be the one when love is a sign. The letters that we're writing,
rhythm and lead,
baby, they just break our heart. And when we're back together again, there's just no time to start, no time to restore.
Slide.
It's all on the ground. What you've been doing against what I found. This is what I found. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I want to be the one, and love is a sign. Wow.
I like that sparkly.
I'm not a playboy or a poet. There's no cool water from the well. I wish you had a big house and that your work would start to sell. Wave after wave, our tension and our tenderness. Wave after wave, our tension and our tenderness. Green and violet blue, no matter what you say,
Little waterfall
no
comes
matter
in
what
and
you
pours
do,
here.
I wanna be the one, and love is a sign. I know I'll see you again. The world's too big or too small, and I won't be the madman then. It'll be me that's come to call. Me in freezing weather, snow cuts on my wrist. You down by the river, and London no longer exists. This is what I found. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I wanna be the one, and love is a sign.
The bass guitar combination here is just it almost not note wise. I'm not talking about like the notes or the chords necessarily, but the way that it's played reminds me a little bit of like Celtic music and Irish music a little bit. And I mean like faintly in the way that the notes come about, not the notes themselves. And that is an absolutely gorgeous sound that they have. The bass line, that little slide in there, haven't even talked about the bass. That's performed by John Wolsteed, and I love it. I love that little slide he adds into every other part of the bass line. Just a little characteristic that I really enjoy, and it sounds wonderful in here. And once again, those two guitars just play off of one another very, very well. In this track here, the harmonica, I haven't even talked about that. Who's playing the harmonica? That's going to be Robert Forster, who's handling that. And it's a nice, near, almost atmospheric kind of solo, but it's kind of quick. It's kind of in and out. I wish it was a little bit longer, but that's just because I liked it and I liked what he was doing with it. Kind of adding another shade of color into the music at that particular point. But I enjoyed that sound nonetheless. On this track, who's singing? Forster's also singing on this one. And did Forster sing the previous track? I believe I said that. No, it was Grant. Okay. I'm trying to like listen to their voices because I don't have a visual. I don't know who's singing exactly. I'm just trying to base it off voices. And since this is basically my first time kind of diving into them a lot, I'm just trying to get my bearing straight with regards to who's singing what. So, okay, so Forster's singing on this track. And I like the little bit of light haze, I would say, that kind of graces his voice as he sings, you know? Once again, this one's definitely more melancholic, but it has that kind of tone and atmosphere the way that he's singing on here. Then I love the quickness that the drums and the rhythm also kind of transitions into when it moves to the chorus, because there's no like warning. There's no pre-chorus that tells you, okay, we're about to get into the chorus. So there's no like note that plays or anything like that. It just kind of crosses the line and kind of steps into the chorus really nicely. And the snare starts to catch up and pick up a little bit on that tempo. I'm 10 feet underwater, standing in a sunken canoe. And from that moment, when it transitions, it's like a little cascade of a waterfall. Like you could just feel all of it coming out with a different kind of power. I'm 10 feet underwater, standing in a sunken canoe. How are you standing in there? Looking up at the water lilies, they're green and violet blue. Still the sun it finds a place to light me. Still the sun it finds that it's warm beside me. Green and violet blue, no matter what you say, no matter what you do. I want to be the one, and love is a sign. Love is a sign that I am the one. Probably, it's a good sign. The letters that we're writing, baby, they just break our hearts. And when we get back together, there's no time to start. No time to restore. It's all on the ground. What have you been doing against what I've found? And this is what I find. No matter what I say, no matter what I do, I want to be the one. So when they come back together, there's just no time to reconnect. No time to, as he says, restore what's on the ground. Like they've left it, they've dropped it. They need to pick it up, pick up the pieces. I'm not a playboy or a poet. There's no cool water from the well. I like how he, humbles himself. I wish you had a big house and that your work would start to sell. Wave after wave, our tension and our tenderness. Wave after wave, our tension and our tenderness. I really like this line. Wave after wave, these emotions coming back on an ebb and flow and natural back and forth. The tension and then the tenderness. The sensitive and the stringent. I don't know if that's the word I want to use. I know I'll see you again. The world is too big or too small. I won't be the madman then. It will be me that's come to call. Like his true self. Me in the freezing weather. Snow cuffs on my wrist. I'm assuming it's down by the river. London no longer exists. So like even to the end of time, maybe that's when he says, I'll see you again. The world is too big or too small. And he knows it's true because love, as he says, is a sign that they are meant to be together. Even though there may be some back and forths in their relationship. Seems so. Let's move on to the next track. You Can't Say No Forever. Yeah, they can. But you can try. Definitely try. Hey, this feels like a single.
You can have hearing loss when your boyfriend says his boss instead.
attitude on this one.
What can be tempting you? Who can be tempting you? You look like a winter. You can't say no forever. You can't say no forever. I'll try. Run if you have to run up to the mountain air writers retreat maybe.
Like the extra guitar right there.
Sheltered and lonely there, a fireplace and a rocking chair. You understand me. You can't say no forever. You can't say no forever.
That's some extra kick right there.
You can't say no in December as the trees line the drive.
Nice.
I know your family remembers me by your side. Night as you close to Scott, he asked, was your day hard? You can barely answer. Yes, my world's tumbling down, stone by stone to the ground. Please take out the garbage. You can't say no in December. A piano played by a child's hand drifts over the veranda, and I'm your man.
Some vibe.
And I say, you can't say no forever. 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 I've tried, and I know why.
Interesting ending. You Can't Say No had a lot of little interesting things about it. So first of all, there's definitely a more direct confrontational attitude in this one. The sense of bitterness is, you can feel it in the cracks of this one. But the most interesting thing about this track is, yeah, it has like a certain, of course it moves through verse, chorus, whatever, right? There's a decent amount of musical moments in here that change and come off of the standard, I guess you could say. It's not like they play the verse the exact same way each time. They change a few things in here. So one moment, there was a little extra kind of distorted guitar that came in on one side. And then, of course, I could have missed things. It's the first listen. It never came back again. There's one moment when the drummer in the, I didn't look at the time, but when he's playing the, let me see if I can find it. It's in this part. It's not this part, but it's in that part. The second time he does that, when the drummer's, the next time around, he adds an extra bass pedal. He adds an extra kick into that measure. So it's ba, ga, ga, ba, ba, ba. I can't do it, but he adds an extra one in there. You hear it just slightly behind it, that extra thump. So it's kind of cool, like these little moments in the track that. There, you heard it? Let me back up. See? you hear that extra pop like back there. There's like a few moments like that just like add something. There's a moment where the instrument stops really quickly, or the guitar at least does. Like this one, they don't just follow the notes, so to speak. They kind of go off course and do their own thing. And then the ending of this track. I don't even know what to say about that, except it was their own way of kind of coolly breaking it down at the end, kind of giving it a different tone. You heard a little bit of piano before that, but the way that it shifts into that final transition and the ending, it's heavy in their own way based off of what we heard so far in the album. And it's groovy. It kind of sounds like a little bluesy, but not. And then that wow that comes in is like, I don't even know what it is. It reminds me of psychedelic, but it's not. Like, I don't know. It's just a really interesting breakdown there at the end. You can have hearing loss when your boyfriend says he's boss. You're scared of a new endeavor. Remember the previous track about cutting you and setting you free? What can be tempting you? Who can be tempting you? You look like a winter. You can't say no forever. I've tried, like from experience. Run if you have to run up to the mountain. Air, winter's or rider's retreat, maybe. Sheltered and lonely, there's a fireplace and a rocking chair. You understand me. You can't say no forever. I've tried. You can't be alone forever. You can't say no in December when it's cold and you're lonely. No, you need someone. Why not me? As the trees line the drive, I know your family remembers me by your side. You met the parents. Night as your clothes discard, he asked, was your day hard? You can barely answer. Yes, my world's tumbling down stone by stone to the ground. Please take out the garbage. Like, come away from the mundanity of life. You can't say no in December. A piano played by a child's hand drifts over the veranda, and I'm your man. There you go. Listen, it was all coming down to one thing there in the end. I'm the one that you need, so to speak. The Devil's Eye.
Don't wanna let you out of my sight. Don't wanna let you under your flight. The fortune teller might have been right. The battle world can turn your hair white. And sometimes we don't come through. Sometimes we just get by. But I know with you I've never seen the devil's eye. Don't wanna have to say a goodbye. Don't wanna wipe the tear from your eye. I took this chance to write a message. It's just to say that I'll miss you. And sometimes we don't come through. Sometimes we just get by. But I know with you I've never seen the devil's eye. Sometimes we don't come through. Sometimes we just get by. But I know with you I've never seen the devil's eye.
A little short track here halfway in the album, and I don't have a lot to say on this one. I think that it sounds very nice. I like the kind of delicateness that you can hear in the guitar and the way that the strings play here. Some of it almost sounds like a wind up, like when you're winding up like a musical box, like that king 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 king. Like it kind of has a very near staccato way of playing that sounds to me like a wind up, sung with sensitivity. It's a nice little 2-minute track. You know, there's really not a lot about it, just a nice sensitive halfway intermission, so to speak. I don't want to let you out of my sight, don't want to let you onto your flight. The fortune teller might have been right. The bad old world can turn your hair white. And sometimes we don't come through. Sometimes we just get by. It's a good line. But I know with you, I've never seen the devil's eye. Like, everything's been really good together. I hate to see you get onto that flight and leave. I don't know when I'm going to see you again. Let's try and make the fates align and the stars align with us. I don't want to have to say goodbye. Don't want to wipe a tear from your eye. I took this chance to write a message. It's just to say that I'll miss you. I like how now we're getting a little bit of a change. Like, what is this message? Is this a handwritten note that he handed to her before she went on the plane? Is this a phone message? You know, what is the message? And sometimes we don't come through. Sometimes we just get by. And we repeat the chorus there again. A long goodbye. But will he get a reply? Let's move on to the next track, which is going to be Streets of Your Town. More of a plum energy here.
Round and round, up and down, through the streets of your town.
Almost hits like a Patty and Wendy.
Every day I make my way through the streets of your town. And don't the sun look good today?
Yeah.
But the rain is on its way. Watch the butcher shine his knives.
I love her vocals back there.
And this town is full of battered wives. Round and round, up and down, through the streets of your town. Every day I make my way through the streets of your town. And I ride your river under the bridge.
That's catchy.
And I take your boat out to the reach. 'Cause I love that engine roar.
And the bass line accenting with her
But I
voice.
still don't know what I'm here for. Round and round, up and down, through the streets of your town. Every day I make my way through the streets of your town. They shut it down,
Nice breakdown.
they closed it down.
The organ and the
They
little guitar,
shut it down,
like harp.
they pulled it down.
That's a really beautiful little solo.
Through the streets of your town. Every day I make my way through the streets of your town. Round and round, up and down, through the streets of your town. Every day I make my way through the streets of your town. Round and round, up and down, through the streets of your town. Every day I make my way through the streets of your town. Round and round, up and down, through the streets of your town.
There's a pure excitement in this track. There's a wonderful positive excitement that's running through the course of the veins in this one. And I love how both in this track, who's singing? Let me see who's singing on this track. Oh, it doesn't tell me right away. I don't want to make a guess. But regardless, whoever's singing, whether it's Robert or Grant, well, the way that they sing with Amanda, is so, so nice. And I hate to say it again, but I'm just going to say Patty and Wendy. Okay, I'm just going to say it. The way that they balance each other as they go back and forth is so, so nice. And I love what she brings her voice into the music in this particular way. And I like how the bass line kind of hops onto the groove and the vocal with her in its own way, right? Like when she sings, it kind of mimics her. So I like how that adds a little bit of depth to her voice in the track in here. The middle section, that solo, let me pull that back up because that was just a gorgeous moment. We heard little bits of sensitivity from the guitar previously, and it kind of reminds me of the first track with Love Goes On and the way the guitar played here. But this is just a beautiful moment. Not only does the music, of course, kind of become half tempo there, but you have almost that harp-like way that the guitar strikes its chords, which brings and echoes a lot of peace. The organ comes in now in the back, which I could 100% be wrong, but I don't think we've heard previously on the album. Or if we have, I haven't noticed it. But here, it's a nice subtle layer of ice, and I just say a layer of ice because I'm looking at the layer of ice on the window, and it just kind of glosses everything over really nicely in this really subtle way. And of course, the singing comes down really good too. That was just a really beautiful moment, and I wished that this continued on just a little long because it was lovely. Oh, and the guitar. Listen to that. Once again, reminiscent of the way the guitar played in the first part with that, very specific and striking style. That's a lovely, lovely track, and I do see that this one here has a Wikipedia article, so I'd imagine that this was a single from the album as well. But first, let's look at these lyrics. Round and round, up and down through the streets of your town. Every day I make my way through the streets of your town. And don't the sun look good today, but the rain is on its way. Watch the butcher shine his knives, and this town is full of battered wives. So, of course, he's making his way up and down the streets of her town. Just looking and seeing how the day is, right? He says sun looks good, but rain is on its way. So things are good right now, but in the relationship, I always read this as metaphors. It may not be, may not end the same way. And I ride your river under the bridge. I take your boat out to the bridge or the ridge because I love that engine roar, but I still don't know what I'm here for. Still don't know what I'm looking for. They shut it down. They closed it down. They shut it down. They pulled it down. This is the bridge. So, right, the song opens up, sun looking good, rain is on the way, foretelling, and then here at the end, they shut it down, they closed it down. Not only did they close it down, they pulled it down. There was like a strong action to this. I just read this as the end of their relationship in totality. Let's see. Guitar solo by bassist John Wilsteed. Look at him. It's one of the band's most recognized songs, released in '88, where it reached number 80, appropriately, on the singles chart. And then in Australia, it reached number 68. Upbeat music is contrasted with darker lyrics, of course. McLennan said of the writing of the song, I was listening to Under the Milky Way. Oh, nice. A little Starfish, huh? I was just working it out because I'm a big fan of the Church. And that afternoon, I came up with a chord progression and a chorus. I could definitely hear that. I could definitely hear that from them. It was written in, I would say, 10 minutes. I was singing along, and I sung the Shine line, which is like a call and response answer in the verses. And I don't collect any songwriting royalties for that song because that was a condition of my joining the band, Brown says. Interesting. It remains an odd fact. The one go-between song Grant and I never played before recording. Interesting. Wilsteed played the gorgeous Spanish-inflected acoustic guitar solo on a nylon string of classical guitar that belonged to Brown. The band were unable to replicate it live, where he played bass. That's interesting. Foster noted it was much more of a studio construction, and maybe the best version of it ever is on the album. Sometimes you pull something off and you just can't recreate it. But at least we have it recorded so that, for all of our listening enjoyment and pleasure, we can always just replay it again and again. Let's move on to the next track, which is Clouds. This is a really nice album, huh? kind of sing.
I cupped them with my hands and reached on high.
It's kind of folky, that kind of
I
movement.
said to these clouds, no more am I blind. I have to see straight. That'll make me unkind. Visions of blue, I'm angry, I'm wise, and you're under cloudy skies. Blue air I crave, blue air I breathe. They once chopped my heart the way you chop a tree.
I like the little rhyme scheme. It just works.
Told to equate achievement with pain. I took their top prize and paid them back with rain. Visions of blue, I'm angry, I'm wise, and you're under cloudy skies.
There's that guitar. Makes another appearance.
Blue air I crave, blue air
It's a short
I
one.
breathe. They once chopped my heart the way you chop a tree. Told to equate achievement with pain. I stole their top prize and paid them back with rain.
It's a nice back and forth that they once again have on this track.
Visions of blue, I'm angry, I'm wise, and you're under cloudy skies. Visions of blue, perverse and strong, and you're under cloudy skies.
Always walking into that specific little rhythm. I like how we get a different kind of solo here. Two guys. This is another song that I think is a nice one. I don't think that there's anything at all bad about this one. I think it's a very pleasant listen. But I will say that I don't think that there's a lot to this track. I would not say that this is filler whatsoever. And it sounds like I'm really thinking negatively, but I'm really not about this track. I think it's a nice track. It's just, I feel some of the other tracks, a lot of the other tracks that we've listened to, most of the other tracks that we've listened to are just like up here. This one I feel like it's nice. It's a nice track. And once again, like the singing between the two in here, I think it sounds really nice. It does have a kind of fluffy kind of feel, like a cloud. The guitar is once again a very welcome addition, the way that it plays in that middle section. And I wish that we got a lot, like at least a little bit more, I would say, of that. But I do like how we get two solos here. One that's more in that kind of Spanish classical kind of style, and then one that's more in their atmospheric kind of way. It's nice that we get both solos. I want a little bit more of the first one, but that's just me. There's nothing wrong with that. But otherwise, like genuinely, this is a pleasant listen. I have no ill feelings about this one. It's just not as, it just doesn't stand out as much to me. It doesn't hit me a certain way, as almost every other track has. The clouds are here. They aren't up in the sky. I like that line, though. I cupped them with my hands and reached up high. I said to these clouds, no more am I blind. I have to see straight, and that will make me unkind. I do like that kind of rhythm that they set up on the ending of a lot of the lines here. Visions of blue, I'm angry, I'm wise, and you're under cloudy skies. Well, the clouds aren't up there, they're down here. Blue air I crave, blue air I breathe. They once chopped my heart the way you chop a tree. It does earworm its way into you, though. Told to equate an achievement with pain, I took their top prize, and paid them back with rain. I like that. You use that cloud, that pain, and in a sense, revenge or revenged. He repeats this again, the pain you stole. Visions of blue, I'm angry and wise, and you're under cloudy skies. Visions of blue, perverse and strong, and you're under cloudy skies. What I did once, I now do every day. So it seems like it started with just a one-time thing, but now it's becoming a regular occurrence. So he says, using these clouds in to me, kind of an avenging way. Paying them back with rain. Paying them back with the fruits, I guess you could say, of his torment's a strong word, but emotional torment. Let's move on to the next track. Was there anything I could do? Maybe. This has it already.
She comes home and she's happy. She comes home and she's blue. She comes home and then tells him, listen, baby, we're through. I don't know what happened next. All I know is she moved.
That's it.
Packed up her bags and her curtains. Left him in his room. Was there anything I could do?
See what I mean?
Was there anything
So that guitar, the violin.
I could do? She went out with a paint box, paints the chapel blue. She went out with a matchsticks, torched the car wash too. I don't know where she's living. All I got is a card, a picture of her at the pyramids, a knife held to her heart. Was there anything I could do? Was there anything I could do?
What a setup, man. That's
She came down from the mountain, said goodbye to her guru. She went back to her room, lost herself in voodoo. I don't say that I blame her. People don't know what they want. If you spend your life looking behind you, you don't see what's up front. Was there anything
a good line, man.
I could do?
That's a good line.
Was there anything I could do? Was there anything I could do? Was there anything I could Putting out a fire. Putting out a fire.
There's your answer.
Putting out a fire. Putting out a fire. Putting out a fire.
During the ending, when he says putting out her fire, it sounds like he was saying something else, but I couldn't quite make it out there in this track. Okay, this one. Whoa. Probably Brown's best moment when it comes to the violin. The way that it turned the key in the ignition, so to speak, with the guitar, and then her violin just came bursting out of that. Oh, that was to me probably one of the standout moments in the album as a whole. That was just a glorious horses breaking through the gates. out into the wild. That was just a really fantastic moment. Huge piece there. And then the whole song, of course, moves at a very rapid pace. And the song is entitled, Was There Anything I Could Do? And as you're going through the track, was there anything I could have done to save this relationship? And I feel like his mind is kind of like frantic and just playing out every scenario, kind of Doctor Strange style, just like looking at every possibility, every reality, like what could I have done to make this work? And so the song has this, not chaotic, but it kind of, has this fast thinking kind of just bouncing off the wall kind of feel to it. And I love how the violin plays even before the solo there. I love the could I do that was just a really nice back and forth, and I love the way the violin brought in a certain action and active, kind of participant into the track rather than just like something in the background. It was just really, really nice how that cuts through and slices through the air of this track. This was a really nice one. I like this one a lot. She comes home happy, and she's happy. She comes home and she's blue. She comes home and she tells him, listen, baby, we're through. I don't know what happened next. All I know is she moved, packed up her bags and her curtains, left him in his room. Was there anything I could do? So I feel like, can I tell you? I feel like the I, his perspective, is almost like a child, like the son. And these are his parents. She, his mother, she tells him, father, and then she's like, or he's thinking like, was there anything I could have done? Or maybe not. She went out with her paint box, paints the chapel blue. I like how, I think of painting the town red in a good thing, like party, but painting the chapel blue, I would assume that's kind of the exact opposite. She went out with her matchsticks, torched a car wash too. I don't know where she's living. All I got is a card, a picture of her at the pyramids, a knife held to her heart. Like, she's out there living her best life, but she wants to remind you, like, you hurt her. She came down from the mountains. She said goodbye to her guru. She went back to her room. She lost herself in voodoo. I don't say that I blame her. People don't know what they want. If you spend your life looking behind you, you don't see what's up front. And then, of course, putting out her fire is what happens here. I feel like this is the summation of the track. If you spend your life looking behind you, you don't see what's up front. Is she saying this about her, him, or himself? Or perhaps all three? The case could be made. The case could be made. Let's move on to the next track here, which is I'm All Right.
She knows that I'm not ready when my nerves are steady, when my eyes are free of tears. Someday she doesn't want to hurt me, it's okay, I'm alright.
She's accepting.
Splashing and dash myself, a sad man trying to lift 100 weight. If I can, when I say I'm available, if she smiles, she doesn't want to hurt me, it's okay, I'm alright.
Just accepting. I'm all right. Drum horn.
Can it be? Can it be? Will it be? Will it be? All right.
The snare is the acceptance. Like reassuring, I'll be all right.
She can see that I'm still angry. It's no good. I can see her during the day.
Unless he's just telling himself that.
I'm alright. I am alright. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm alright, I know.
that guitar or?
Can it be? Can it be? Will it be? Will it be? Will it be alright?
This is a rainy day of a track, I feel, with this one, with the emotions, the way it moves. It kind of moves at a gentle, kind of slower pace. It kind of, even the way he sings is a little bit more laid back in a more depressive state. And he's just like, I'm all right, I'm all right. He keeps telling himself that. I don't know if that's what he actually feels, but I'm all right, I'm all right. Someone asks you how you're feeling, and, maybe they wronged you, maybe something happened. You're like, no, I'm all right, all right. But, inside you're like, I'm feeling that kind of emotion here with this track. But interestingly enough, okay, I'm so dumb because I said, what's this crumb horn being played? But it's Oboe by Amanda Brown once again here. And I like this. I like this unique instrument that's brought into a track like this. It definitely provides a different sound, a different kind of nuanced tone in here. And then it could definitely be guitar that you heard as well on the side, but I'm leaning more towards something else, some sort of keys, or maybe it was the organ. But there's something else that's also being ba, 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 or ba, ba, played on the side. And I couldn't quite tell if that was guitar, or maybe organ, perhaps. But either way, those two additions kind of gave the song a little bit of a saddened lift, And I mean, like, it didn't lift it like in an uplifting spirits, but it just gave it a different kind of sound to kind of hook onto. As this track is the one that I would call cloudy, because this is the one that kind of felt like a rain cloud, if anything, more so than the other one, to be honest. She knows that I'm not ready when my nerves are steady. When my eyes are free of tears, someday she doesn't want to hurt me. It's okay, I'm all right. Splashing and dashing myself a sad man, trying to lift 100 weight if I can. When I say I'm available, she smiles. She doesn't want to hurt me. It's okay, I'm all right. He's really just trying to reassure himself, even though she knows, and she can definitely see that maybe he's not quite ready yet. I'm all right, I know. Can it be? Can it be? Will it be? All right. I like how he questions himself there. Will it be? All right. Now he's double and second guessing himself. She can see that I'm still angry. It's no good. I can see her during the day. That's good. I have to earn the night. Jeez. She doesn't want to see me. That's okay. I'm all right. Can it be? And then will it be? So he's really feeling a severe lack of confidence, and where is he in this relationship? Where does he lie? Where is his feelings? He's trying to reassure and say, no, I got this. I'm all right. It's fine. But really and internally, your heart's beating to a different rhythm. Let's move on to the last track here on the album, which is going to be Dive for Your Memory.
If the cliffs were any closer, the water wasn't so bad. I'd dive for your memory on the rocks and the sand. I'd dive for you like a bird I'd descend. Deep down I'm lonely, and I miss my friend.
The revealing.
When I hear you saying that we stood no chance, I'll die for your memory. We stood stood side by side, strong and true.
I love that oboe when it comes in.
I just wish you'd remember, bad times don't get you through. When I hear you say that we stood no chance, I'll die for your memory. We stood that chance.
I like that guitar here.
I dive black waters, the waters of a dream, a black and forgetful eye, like to make them clean. When I hear you saying that we stood no chance,
That's a very sing-song line.
We stood that chance. And when I hear you say that we stood no chance, I'll die for your memory. And we stood that chance.
I don't think you could have a track that sounds so perfect as the conclusion to the album. That just sounds absolutely like closure and book ending the album from the beginning, really big and exciting, to something so introspective and reflective looking back. And, you know, this is what I would do for you. All the things I would do for you. I once again love the inclusion of the oboe in this track, and it just kind of, it's a unique instrument in this kind of setting, and I think it works extremely well. Some of the melodies played on the guitar as well are really sweet. I love that. Ba, 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 ba. There's a sing-songy melody, you know, in some of the lines from the guitar. The singing is once again just kind of to himself and just kind of looking personally while speaking externally, I guess you could say. And it's a nice conclusive track on the album. It's sweet. It's, I guess, not short. In a sense, you know, it's 4 minutes long. It's not like a short song, but it's a normal length song. But it feels short because I feel like he has so much more to say, but he's trying to use his time effectively in speaking. It's kind of hot in here now. Gotta turn off the heater. Let's look at the lyrics. I don't think there's a lot to this one, but it's a nice, pleasant ending to the album, I feel. If the cliffs were any closer, if their water wasn't so bad, I'd dive for your memory on the rocks and the sand. Well, that's nice, but let's not dive on the rocks and sand. There's only one ending for that. I'd dive for you. Like a bird, I'd descend. Deep down, I'm lonely and I miss my friend. I like the reveal, opening up himself to the vulnerabilities here. Not just saying, it's okay, it's all right, I'm fine. So when I hear you saying that, we stood no chance, I'll die for your memory. We stood that chance. I like the inner strength that comes in here. Stood side by side, strong and true. I just wish you'd remember. Bad times don't get you through. The bad times, yes, they're there, but let's learn from those experiences. Remember the good times we had. Now I dive black waters, the waters of her dream. Are black and forgetful, I'd like to make them clean. So when I hear you saying we stood no chance, I'll die for your memory. We stood that chance. He's willing to go into, for lack of a better word, dark waters, polluted with bad experiences. He's willing to go into those waters, dirty himself, because he says dive into them, and clean them up, a la Captain Planet. This was a really, really fantastic album to listen to. This was a really nice one. Good recommendation from you guys. Favorite tracks? I'll be honest. Pretty much every track on this album is good. Most are great. You know, like Clouds. You know, it was all right. You know, I'm all right. It's all right. You know, but there's standout ones. Love Goes On, I think, is a huge standout. I love Quiet Heart. Maybe was there anything I could do? I think Quiet Heart may be my favorite, just because of the quiet heart. Maybe because of that. I don't know. I don't want to say for sure, but that was definitely one of my favorites. Looking at some of the info on here. Prior to the recording of the album, bassist Vickers left the band when the other group members decided to return to Australia, spending some years after London. He was, of course, replaced by Will Steed. It was the final release from the original version of the band. Let's see, the band relocated from the UK to Sydney. The relationship between Forrester and Morrison had ended, while singer Grant McLennan and violinist Amanda Brown became more involved. Let's see, the recording was different from previous releases. McLennan and Forrester began an intense songwriting process, demoing all the songs in advance and presenting them to the producer and their bandmates, leaving less room for improvisation. McLennan stated, "We really sat down for the first time in years and wrote together in the sense that anything new we'd come up with the night before, we'd go through and rearrange and discard or put it into something else. Our normal method was to write separately and then spend 2 weeks together, familiarizing ourselves with each other's songs and suggesting things. This was a completely different process." It's interesting. Let's see. We'd spent 5 years in London, blackness, darkness, greatness, and poverty, and suddenly, for some reason, we seemed to have more money in Sydney. And we had all places to live, and being in a city where after 5 years, we can go to the beach in 10 minutes. This brought a burst of energy to the songs. So they demoed 16 songs acoustically and sent them to producer Mark Wallace. He wanted to maintain that acoustic feel, embellishing them sparingly and affording them a sparkle and crispiness that suggested the summer that was their inspiration. Can I tell you, this statement comes very, very true. Because I think that the album does have a very acoustic feel to it in many, many ways. Morrison was said to have hated Wallace, which may have been a reflection of the fact that Wallace replaced Morrison with a drum machine on 5 of the songs. But Morrison and Brown were unhappy, which limited their contribution, but Forrester defended it, saying the pre-production to every album can't always be the same. Wallace says that the drumming on all the tracks are a mix of programmed and real drums, and Morrison, not available at the time or all the time for family reasons, says that you can't tell that the machine beats are still hers from the fact that everything is so simple. I would have not guessed. I would have not guessed at all. Forrester blamed others for the synthetic nature of the recordings. He said, "I wanted to make a kind of record I ended up making on Danger in the past. I just wanted the band to be playing live, get us really into a big studio. Instead, it was one person in the studio with the rest of them playing pool. Lindy would be talking about drum machines, and her and Amanda were talking about triggering the violin to make synthesizer keyboard sounds. The only 2 live tracks on that album are both of my songs. I insisted on those." Interesting. So there was some contention happening in the recording process of this album. But I will say, the contention definitely, in this particular case, led to a really good product. Works for me. Let me know what you guys, of course, thought of the album. I hope that you enjoy listening to it alongside with me. I really appreciate you guys spending some time here. Of course, the Buy Me a Coffee is there. Of course, if you'd like to sponsor a song request, the Patreon for exclusive content. And if you don't mind just pressing that like button before you head on out. Thank you guys so much for spending the morning, the afternoon, the evening, the night with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day /month. It doesn't even have to be Valentine's. Just enjoy your day. And I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.